Sanje juda soge chonamdo, chanju bardo dane yaksu che, dage jin soge be sonamge, kola benjire sanje dubare isho, sanje juda soge chonamdo, chanju bardo dane yaksu che, dage jin soge be sonamge, kola benjire sanje dubare isho, sanje Chanju bado dane jaksu je, dage jinso ge be sonam ge, chola benje sanje drupare sho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetu Desham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Desham Tathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Desham Tathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, that's better. Okay, where did we leave last time? Oh yes, generosity of dharma. Okay, very precise. Thank you. Which step was that? Step 4. Step 5. Step 4 is taking the suffering. Step 5 is giving the generosity. Step 5. What is step 1? Step 2.
Contemplating the merits of cherishing oneself. Reflecting on the merits of cherishing.
Step 6.
Actual exchange of self and others.
Step 4. Taking the suffering of others with emphasis on compassion. Step 3. Reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. Very good. And step 7. No.
Special reflection of the kindness of others.
Special recollection of the kindness of others. Okay. Step 9. Step 8. Okay, I'm happy. Okay, thank you. Very good. These steps must be on the fingertips, and that the just see if we can, not just if we can, as long as we want maximum happiness, these two methods somehow we have to practice. And unfortunately,
Number of people actually who are practicing so less. Number of people who are actually practicing, mostly they go into some tantras. So tantra is not bad. Tantra, bodhicitta, wisdom and emptiness, single-pointedness, renunciation, altogether is very good. What I'm saying is that even many of the intelligent people, they just do the bodhicitta. It's just like one stanza finish. It's not sufficient. And without experience of bodhicitta, then no matter what we do, it doesn't become Mahayana teachings, Mahayana practice. If it doesn't become Mahayana practice, it's not a 12th tantric practice. Mahayana or the Vajrayana or the Mahayana tantric practice. Okay. So the idea here is, if you remember what we discussed last time about compassion, particularly in the mornings, we discussed about compassion, how to intensify the compassion, how to make compassion more profound. So when we say the intensity of compassion and the profundity of compassion, these two are slightly different. Compassion has two elements. One is the subject-wise, the feeling of love and affection, and the object-wise, seeing the suffering nature of the sentient beings. Two, for compassion, subject-wise, it should be a feeling of love, the love and affection, and the object-wise, one should see the suffering nature of others. So how can one intensify the compassion? Intensify the love and affection. Then make the compassion more profound. To make the compassion more profound, see the suffering nature of the sentient beings more profound. So a compassion may not be intensive, but it can be very profound. Some compassion may be very intense, but may not be profound. Compassion to the extent, for example, like compassion to the extent where the person just see the suffering of others, you just feel like fainting. That's very intense compassion, but it's just it's not profound, because what you are looking at, the suffering that you are seeing in others, is just the suffering, not the pervasive condition suffering. Okay, so now the point is that the bodhicitta, these two methods, they are primarily meant to intensify the feeling of love and affection towards others. How to build this feeling of love and affection towards others. And Bodhisattva Shantideva, in his text, Guided Bodhisattva's Way of Life, the method of equalizing and exchanging self with others that is referred to as the secret method. Secret. Maintain it confidential. Keep it secret. Secret method. The reason why this is mentioned as secret is because ordinary people, they can't digest this. The moment you say that you have to be kind towards your enemies, they could not really digest this. So therefore, this is not to be disclosed so easily to the people who otherwise would feel aversion towards this practice. Because they could not digest that. How can I possibly have compassion towards my enemies? Okay, so whereas if you follow these steps, you will see that this is amazing practice. And when you say that we practice compassion towards one's enemies, ordinary people will get the impression that you surrender, you give up. It's not a matter of giving up. You are becoming even more courageous. Even more courageous, which ordinary people cannot display. So much of courage, so much of wisdom involved. Wisdom and courage. Okay, so the whole idea here, reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself, reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. The more we think, for example, the more we think about how somebody is unkind to you, the more we think about that, more angry we become. Likewise, more we think about how the self-centered attitude is destructive, how the self-centered attitude is the source of the suffering on me, the more we feel angry towards the self-centered attitude. The more we think about cherishing others as a source of happiness, the more we feel like cherishing others. To the extent to the extent that later on, when something goes wrong with you, say you feel low, or say there's a little bit of conflict happening, and then the blame automatically goes outside because of that person, because of this person, because of the weather. The moment the blame goes out, you are still a very immature Dhamma practitioner. Particularly a very immature Mahayana Dhamma practitioner. Whereas at a certain point, any uneasy problem, any unease comes to you, the blame automatically, very spontaneous, the blame goes to the self-centered attitude, not to self. I'm the responsible. No. If you say I'm the responsible, finish. You are failing yourself. You're blaming yourself. The moment you blame yourself, this is greatest failure. So the blame, instead of going to the self, it should go to the self-centered attitude. The moment unease comes to you, the blame goes to the self-centered attitude. Automatically, spontaneously. If that happens, this is a mark of a great success of your practice. You are on the way. There's a chance. There's a great possibility that you will generate bodhicitta. Whereas if that is not happening, no matter how much practice that you're doing, emptiness, the impermanence, tantra, whatever you're doing for the last, and retreats after retreats, like but the millions and billions of mantra recitation so forth, and in the end of the day, something goes wrong with you, and instantly the blame goes outside. There's no change in you. It's not a Dhamma practice. This is what we have to keep in mind. So, how does this change happen? That moment that bad thing happens to you, instantly the blame goes to the self-centered attitude. It's all because of this self-centered attitude. Self-centered attitude, that now this is happening. I'm so angry to myself. I must get rid of this. If that happens to you naturally, this is great success. So this is not a matter that somebody else respects you or you are a Dhamma practitioner. This is not the point. You should be judged for yourself. A great teacher said, you should be judged for yourself. If this is what is happening to you, you are a real practitioner. If this is not happening, no matter how much people respect you, no matter how many people they put you on the big thrones, if this is not happening, finish. You are not a Dhamma practitioner at all. And then particularly not at all a Mahayana Dhamma practitioner. It's very problematic. Okay, so the point is, we are not to judge others, we are to judge ourselves. See if this change is happening. Okay, now we are on the giving your happiness to others with emphasis on loving kindness. And giving has 4 parts. Generosity. Generosity of what? What are the 4 generosities? Generosity of material resources. Generosity of love and affection. Generosity of protection. Generosity of dharma. Very good. Okay, generosity of dharma. Again, it has many ways of doing it. I'm just sharing with you how I'm doing. And it's not that finally the meaning must be there, the sense must be there. Generosity of dharma. Finally, why should you give the dharma? Why should you give dharma? Why should you be generous of the dharma? It is to dispel the darkness of ignorance. Okay. Okay, let's turn to page 49, the morning practice, the dedication prayer. When we do some practice, and if the practice coincides, or if the practice correlates or coincides with the very standard teachings then we stick to them. For example, let's say in the direction prayers, page 49, the second verse, may I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view, and the two stages. Oh, if somebody asks you, what is the Mahayana teaching? Tell me in a very comprehensive, not just the idea, very comprehensive the concept of Mahayana practice. You say renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view, and the two stages. Okay, this form, and mornings we do something similar to this. Do you see difference between what we do in the mornings and what is stated here? Do you see difference? What difference do you see? Anybody?
Stages.
The two stages. What else? In the mornings, what extra or what we miss? And Sophie? Where's the moon? Okay, shamatha. Very good. Okay. So, morning what we said is single point meditation, shamatha, renunciation, bodhicitta, and wisdom of emptiness. So, here, shamatha is missing. Explicitly, shamatha is missing, and then additional thing is two stages. Okay, what's the difference? Two stages is tantra. The tantra two stages, meaning the completion, the generation stage and the completion stage is about tantra. So, to make it very complete, what I told you is that do the four shamatha, renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, and emptiness, and then tantra you include in the form of, if you're already doing good, if not, include in the form of prayers, very powerful prayers. So there are 5, whereas here is 4. Where is the shamatha? Shamatha is included in the 2 stages and the perfect view. Perfect view meaning the view of emptiness with the stability. The view of emptiness, the wisdom of emptiness with stability. So stability is included there. Okay, so the idea is that when you do the practice of giving as a part of the 5th method, what you give is, you give 4. You give 4: renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view. So shamatha is included there, because shamatha is to stabilize the perfect view. And the 2 stages, if you like. 2 stages. Okay. This is one thing. Now, if you go back to the mandala offering, short mandala offering, where is that?
37.
Page 37. Okay, short mandala offering. Now, because you get a broad picture of the Buddha's teachings, we can now consolidate what is said in other texts, what is said in other parts. We can see that they are all like brothers sisters. Okay, so we are reading. We read the dedication part. Now we are reading the short mandala offering part. So in the second section meaning the 4 dharmas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. There, and how many points are there? 4 points are there. Out of these 4 points are there. Do you see there 4 points? What are the 4 points? What is the first one? What is the first one? Renunciation. What is number 2? Bodhicitta. What is number 3? Wisdom of emptiness. What is number 4?
2 stages.
What is 4? Just read it. Don't just say it. May I, please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of non-duality of bliss and emptiness. The precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. This is Tantra. This Tantra. Okay. So we see that what is said here, a set of 4, and in the end declaration prayer, again a set of 4. They are very similar. Do you see the similarity? Okay, in fact, not just similar, these two are like twins. Okay, so this is, from this you learn what is dharma. Okay, with the real dharma, particularly Mahayana dharma, then these are the points to be included. Because these are the thoughts given by the great teachers, great masters. For example, this end declaration prayer, which I extracted from Benjamin Losang Chugyal's teachings. Benjamin Losang Chugyal, great saint scholar, around like maybe about like the 300 years ago, Benjamin Losang Chugyal's text from Guru Puja. I took it from there, and then the Mandala request, the second set, also 4 points. So that I took from my teacher's composition. My teacher, Venerable Gyanananda Rinpoche, from his composition, I took it out. And particularly this was what he said in his last days, just few days before he passed away. He said that. So I brought them together and put them in this order. Okay, so the giving dharma. So this is dharma. Dharma, which the Benjamin Losang Chugyal concluded in the form of condensed in the form of declaration prayer. Then my teacher Venerable Gyalamba Rinpoche, he condensed them in the form of the request to be made to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that you accomplish these points. So this is dharma. So if somebody were to tell me what is the comprehensively, tell me something from Mahayana Buddhism in a very comprehensive way, you can say renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, and the non-dual wisdom of emptiness, or the 2 stages, whichever you may call it. Okay, these are the 4 points. So with this, when you give dharma, when you do this practice, step 5, generosity of dharma, you give these 4. Okay, why these 4? This next question. Why these 4? Why 4? Why we say that for the Mahayana teachings, in a very comprehensive sense, these 4 points should be the why, this question. Okay. Some people say that when you speak about wisdom of emptiness and so forth, then some individuals in the audience who say that, but Geshe, to help others, when we go to teach these people don't really care about these. People don't care about this. They are not really interested in this. So what should we do? This is a question coming sometimes. What is the answer? People are not really interested. So, hey, there's the public talk. And then you talk about the public. There's so many talks, TED Talks. There's so many talks, right? Of this, some very stupid talks. Oh no, I will give a very meaningful talk that the people will benefit. Bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness. And people are less interested. So what are we going to do? Yes.
We have to be skillful.
We have to be skillful to make them listen.
Yeah, like His Holiness, he can speak to different audiences, but all of them are interested.
I'm not too sure. Okay. One thing that I like to say is that the worst English word, glorify. Don't glorify everything. Chinese will not be happy. Common Chinese will not be happy. This should be very true. Right? Okay. So the same, if the audience is not really interested, what should we do, boss?
I can give my renunciation and bodhicitta.
No, I'm talking public talk.
So,
Oh, you just give you sit like this, give your renunciation bodhicitta to them. The talk is not happening.
But I can say with whatever I say, with the thought that will help them. Is that kind of...
No, how? This is not that, yes, of course, everybody wants to talk something which will benefit, but the audience is not ready to listen to you. So what are we going to do? Yes, Jane?
We have to understand where they are and what they need, what they truly want.
They want the pups.
Because everyone wants to stop suffering.
Yes, they want pups.
So maybe we can adjust the way we talk to them of
I agree with Jane. Yes. Okay, did you answer what Jane said? We have to listen. We have to see what they want. Yes, Laura.
I was going to say something very similar to Jean. You're not interested in bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. Are you interested in learning about how to deal with your difficult boss, or your?
I don't have a difficult boss. I'm the boss myself.
Okay.
Okay. Kunjela.
Somehow, if we put the teachings into practice, then we will change ourselves, and that will
Oh,
inspire.
I have just only 1 hour. Oh no, 10 years. 10 years. Okay, now man, do whatever you do. Sometimes come. Okay, I'll put my practice into my teaching into practice. Then you see me transform, right? And gradually you change. That's fine. That's for 10 years. What we are talking about is 1 hour. Okay, the Thomas.
Let them pick the relative subject, the relative truth, the conventional truth, and put the absolute truth into.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay. In 1 hour.
You are going in pubs. Why are you going in pubs? Do you really do you or just
Wonderful. Okay, that's good. Okay, Charles.
Je leur demande s'ils voient la différence entre plaisir et le bonheur.
So we would ask them if they see the difference between pleasure and happiness.
Same? No, they will say same. So how will you? The point is, no, it's not the same. Don't fight. Here you have just 1 hour. Okay, Sophie.
Maybe I will try to make them feel very good in my presence.
Say it again.
I will try to make them not focus that much about the topic if they are not interested, but try to make them feel very good with my company and with
How?
Anything, making them feel important. I'm very concerned about them and I'm very listening what they very.
The public is like 500 people, right?
Yeah.
You're just on the stage. You cannot go and say, how are you? You don't have time. You have only 1 hour.
Make them laugh and make them feel very comfortable. They can live with a very nice feeling when they leave. Even they didn't listen, but they live with it was a very nice afternoon, very nice.
Very good. Yes. Okay. So some people, they say that, where is the emptiness? Impossible to talk about emptiness, bodhicitta. I said, no, I've not come here to convert these people. Right? The talk is happening not to convert these people. In the first place, I don't call them. Only if they come to me, then I'll talk. Not if they don't come to me, why should I go to talk to them? Only if they come to me, then I talk. Right? And then if they come, first I'll ask, what do you want? If the person says, I'm hungry. Okay, no bodhicitta, no emptiness, eat food. I'll give some food. If the person says, oh, I want just your company, I want to laugh. Just to tell some jokes, finish. Just ask the person what you want. Don't force yourself. Things would not work that way, forcing yourself. Forcing your belief in this person. No, don't do that. Just ask the person, what do you want? Then act accordingly. And then as the Thomas said and Laura said, as to say how, in between, you can say something, you also listen to the other person. But in this public 1 hour talk, you don't have really time to listen to them as well. So, in between, just see how to, from your talk, from the reaction, you will see what you can talk more, what you can talk less. So, according to talk. It's not that you have to teach emptiness or bodhicitta. If they are not ready, no point. Okay. So what I'm saying is that giving in visualization and in reality. In reality, you have to do it very skillfully. In visualization, you can freely do it. In visualization, there is no complication. You can freely do that. So, in visualization, then you can give this form. And why in the first place? All these people all these people, all the beings, what is their aspiration? Tell me. What is their final aspiration? Happiness and fearlessness. Don't forget it. They want to shun the miseries. They want to have the happiness. Always try to be comprehensive. They want to shun the miseries. Miseries mean the fears. They want to shun all forms of fears, and they want to expand the happiness to infinity. Two things is the one. And who is that? The boys or the girls? Huh? Both, French or non-French? Both, young or old? Buddhist, non-Buddhist? Everybody wants that. This is the confidence you can go with. This is confidence with which you can go with. There are everybody, no matter who the person is. Even the person can be anti-Buddhist. It doesn't matter. The person is anti-Buddhist because thinking that Buddhism is the cause of suffering. So the point is that that person also likes happiness. That person also dislikes suffering. This is a confidence with which you can go. That is 100% guaranteed. Everybody wants happiness and everybody wants to get rid of suffering. With this confidence, you go out, and then then you see that, okay, how to get the same two jobs. One is to get rid of suffering, get rid of fear, and the other is to give them the maximum happiness. How to get rid of the suffering? How to get rid of the suffering? Anybody? How to achieve nirvana? By eradicating the causes of the suffering. By eradicating causes of suffering, what is the final cause of suffering? Ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance. How to get rid of the self-grasping ignorance? By cultivating the wisdom of emptiness. Very good. So, the point is that first, in order to get rid of in order to give them the fearlessness, you have to inspire them to achieve fearlessness. What is that inspiration? What is that aspiration for the fearlessness? What is that aspiration for the fearlessness? Renunciation. Okay. So, in order for you to give the fearlessness, you have to first let them have the sense of renunciation. So, number one that you're going to give is the teaching on Dharma on renunciation. Number one. Okay. What is the other side? One is to get rid of the fears, and number two is to have the maximum happiness. Okay. The maximum happiness is, in technical terms, it is the Buddhahood, full awakening of Buddhahood. Okay, what is that aspiration? For give the Buddhahood, the infinite happiness, you have to first let the person feel desirous, feel desirous of achieving that. What is that desire to achieve the infinite happiness or the Buddhahood? Conventional bodhicitta. So now second thing that you give is that you give the dharma of bodhicitta, conventional bodhicitta, number two. You getting it? You got it? So how? I'm trying to explain why we are giving this for. Why giving this for? Gives the complete meaning to the other person. Make the other person's the aspirations the accomplished complete. So number two is done. What is number three? Why should we give wisdom and emptiness now? Number three. Anybody? Ultimate happiness. Ultimate happiness, bodhicitta.
The aspiration is not enough. The aspiration is not enough.
Then?
You need to eradicate the affective and the cognitive obscurations to achieve the goal.
Okay. Very good. Say the bodhicitta, the wisdom and emptiness, these two are the two inspirations or two aspirations. Now to actualize to materialize two aspirations, we have to work, we have to make it happen. May I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. How are you going to become Buddha? This question which we ask in the mornings. How are you going to become Buddha? What's the answer? In the mornings, what do we do? Two years ago, what did we do? And Sophie, what do you do? How do we become Buddhas? Huh? Katia?
On prononce les vœux de Bodhicitta tous les matins.
So every morning we formulate the Bodhicitta vows. So we take the Bodhicitta vows.
Oh, there is a complete form, right? Complete form. In more detail, say to materialize this aspiration to become Buddha, what practice do we do in the mornings? Huh?
Pray.
Oh, we pray. Oh, yeah. That's true. We pray before that also, right? Not only after that, before that also. What is the typical thing that we do after saying that, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings?
Meditate on emptiness.
Okay, if you cannot say this, which means that you are not listening to me all these last 10 days. Right? The mornings you were not listening to me. You were just sitting there, maybe falling asleep, maybe falling asleep, resting, and pretend as well like you're meditating. And I think that you are doing. Okay, the Sophie?
We engage in the practice of Bodhisattva, generosity and patience. We develop all the paths.
Okay, go back to the morning practice. It's not 2 years ago, it's not 10 years ago, just this 1 hour ago. Hey, 1 hour ago, what did we do? Right? Yeah.
We take refuge.
Huh?
We take refuge.
We take refuge. That is from the beginning. Anybody else? What did we do?
Engage in the Bodhisattva practices.
We study. No.
In the morning. Okay, the mark. Which means you are not at all listening to me. Every day I was giving this instruction. This instruction I did not miss for the last 8 days. First 2 days we did not do.
Ask him to come, we come Buddha.
But that is about Heart Sutra. Okay, Mark.
Do we prostrate?
Mike.
Do we prostrate? We prostrate. At least I do that.
Okay. So Sala.
We meditate on 4 emotions.
After we made people with hands pressed together, then you wake up from the sleep, right? You are actually sleeping. Then suddenly I said, with palms pressed together, let us generate very beautiful mind, most beautiful mind of bodhicitta. And we say, may I become Buddha? Then you start, okay, wait, what am I doing? May I become Buddha for the sentient beings? Finish. Your role is done. Your role is done. Then again my role. With my role, you don't have to take part in it. Again you go to sleep, right? Which means you are not listening. You have not been listening. Okay. So the only person who I'm rest assured that listening was Christoph. Not because of any other reason, because he has to translate. Okay. Yes. Okay. Before Christoph, anybody else? Sophie.
We take aspiration to become Buddha. So
This is aspiration. May I become Buddha? This is aspiration. After this, what do we do?
We meditate on emptiness.
Huh? Oh yeah, Christoph.
Yeah, we try to meditate on emptiness in order to become enlightened for the sake of the day.
Yes. So we said that. Okay, now I'll tell you. Your eyes are wide open after breakfast. Right? So what we said is that it's wonderful that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. But why did you not become Buddha till now? It's like a handful of sand. You said? What did you say? No, you really...
Je ne suis pas une poignée de sable, je suis une poignée de graines de tournesol. Et donc, si j'extrais l'huile, qui est la sagesse primordiale, c'est possible.
Yes, we are not like this handful of sand, we are like a handful of sunflower seeds.
Oh.
And we can extract the oil. And we are not the handful, sorry, We are not the handful of sand, but like the handful of sunflower seeds, and we can extract the oil from them.
Oh, very good. We have the Buddha image inside. Very good. Then, what is the next part? After this, what is the next part?
La partie suivante, c'est, ça veut dire que pourquoi nous sommes comme ça, pourquoi on n'a pas atteint la bouddhéité jusque-là, c'est parce que tout simplement on était dirigé par les deux démons qui sont la saisie du soi et l'égocentrisme qui menaient notre vie.
So why we are not enlightened until now is because we considered as friends the two devils, which are the self-grasping ignorance and the
self-centered attitude.
Et puis maintenant, on va utiliser l'antidote pour pouvoir les tuer ces deux-là.
So we will use the antidotes in order to kill those two devils.
Et c'est la sagesse de la vacuité qui va nous permettre, qui est l'antidote puissant pour pouvoir tuer ces deux ennemis.
So wisdom of emptiness will be the powerful antidote in order to kill those two devils.
Okay, so what? Yeah, so Maria saved us. Otherwise, we're all sleeping. Right? How you're so good at sleeping with bodies upright? Okay, so what we did is that the Bodhicitta wisdom of emptiness, these are the two aspirations. To materialize the two aspirations, what as the Maria said, that we have to make them happen. How to make it happen? Remove the mental defilements. Remove the affective obscurations to fulfill the aspiration of to materialize the aspiration of the renunciation. And remove the cognitive obscurations to fulfill the aspiration of the bodhicitta. So in both cases, how to remove the mental stains is only by the wisdom of emptiness. So for that matter, we give the dharma of emptiness here. We give the dharma of the emptiness here. Okay. Now, what is next? We have already given renunciation. We have already given the dharma of renunciation, dharma of bodhicitta, dharma of emptiness. What is next?
2 stages of tantra.
Dharma of the 2 stages, or the dharma of the bliss of the wisdom of the non-dual bliss and emptiness. Same. Okay. Why do we have to give that? For that matter, let's say that your child is suffering terribly from financial constraints or from hunger, and you have ample of the food there. Okay, yeah, I have something to do. Yeah, I'll give you next time I meet you, or I'll give you tomorrow. Will you say that? If you said a very young, tender child, age 4 or 5, who's so hungry, terribly hungry, and will you say, okay, I'm a little busy today, I'll give it when I come back, after 2 hours, after 4 hours, you do that, or you do it right away, as soon as possible. For you, for a mother, seeing your tender young child, whatever you're doing is for that child. So therefore, you have nothing more important than saving this child or feeding this child. So therefore, you will do it right away. Likewise, for somebody who is practicing the bodhicitta, we see that to benefit the beings is your priority, is a precedence over all other activities. To benefit the beings, that is the number one important thing. So how to do that? No delay. It should be done right away. In other words, that the manner in which you are going to benefit the beings must be expedited, must be made very fast. And how that can be made fast is by the practice of the 2 stages of Tantra, by the practice of the wisdom of non-duality to bliss and emptiness. Okay, this is to expedite the path. So now with the actual practice, as you breathe out, the same process. Say from your right nostril, you send forth your virtues, and for that, say the virtues with the understanding, deep understanding of what renunciation is, deep understanding of what bodhicitta is, deep understanding of what emptiness is, deep understanding of what the wisdom of non-duality, bliss and emptiness says. And then with that deep understanding and whatever little experience that you have, you will then send for nectars or soothing lights of all the virtues that is gathered in the form of soothing lights and the nectars towards all sentient beings. And then first, you give them the dharma of the renunciation. Okay, how? These nectars go there and they transform. The moment they touch the bodies of beings, they transform into the various enlightened beings like Buddha Shakyamuni, Avalokiteshvara, Arya Manjushri, Aratara, and so forth. And these enlightened beings, they give the teaching on renunciation. What's the teaching on renunciation? Teaching them how to get rid of harming others. Teaching on renunciation is predominantly to learn, to practice how to refrain from negativities, how to refrain from harming others. What the fears, opposite renunciation, opposite of the nirvana is the samsara. Samsara is nothing but the fears. Fear, you get a fear because of harming others. So the renunciation, teaching on renunciation is specifically to teach how to stop harming others. Number one, to teach them how to stop harming others. And so that, to do it in a very precise form, is the teaching on the four seals. Teaching on the four seals. Okay, one. Then number two, that is the teaching on the renunciation. Next is the teaching of giving the dharma of Bodhicitta. Okay, again, we send for nectars and very soothing lights. You can do it like 3 times with each. You breathe out, take a deep, breathe out deeply 3 times. And then as you do that, nectars go out, and then all these enlightened beings, they give the teachings on the 4 seals, and so that the beings, they realize that, all these sufferings, they are because of the cause of suffering, which is primarily harming others. So I have to refrain from harming others by engaging in the practice of the 4 seals. So just imagine that they are practicing refraining from the action of refraining from harming others by practicing 4 seals. Okay, now they stop harming others. Look, this is difference. On the, what is that? The practice of loving kindness. Of the 4 immeasurables, the practice of loving kindness. What is the practice of loving kindness? Anybody? Of the 4 immeasurables. What is the practice of loving kindness? Anybody? Pamela?
Giving your happiness to others.
Giving happiness to others. Okay. Last year in the Singapore, and the one very senior Western practitioner, and he asked me one question. Oh, this is tiny insect. One very senior Western practitioner, very good practitioner, he asked me that while giving your happiness to others, the practice of the immeasurable loving kindness, when you do the giving, some teachers, in the version, there is the may all the sentient beings have the happiness and the cause of the happiness. To give not only wanting them to have the happiness, but also the cause of the happiness. And when you wish that others be freed from suffering, not only suffering, that the beings be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. And is that why? And this, number one, is that required? The causes. Is that required? Because if you let them have that happiness, that's it. And if you let them be free from suffering, that's it. Why the causes has to be added? Number one, is that required? If yes, why? The 2 questions. He asked me 2 questions. He's a very senior practitioner and very good practitioner as well. Okay, so this is a very serious question. So there, now, if you can correlate all these practices from the different angles, then you will see the reason. You will see the reason why, yes. So when you give what? You give the dharma, the 4 dharmas. And then this is, although this form, the dharmas, giving dharmas, I made it into the 4 on the basis of all these great teachings of Benjalo Sanchoy, my teacher, Rinpoche, and so forth, on this basis. From there, you can easily see that when you give dharma, the dharma of renunciation, what are you actually giving? You are teaching them, dharma means teaching. You are teaching them how to refrain from harming others. How to refrain from harming others. The 4 seals, the practice of 4 seals is to refrain from harming others. How to refrain from harming others? Why? Harming others is the one which causes the suffering. So therefore, when we wish that others be free from suffering and the cause of suffering, it is like, for example, say the child does not know how to lace the shoes, and then every day the mother laces the shoes. What's the problem? Which is better? That the mother every day laces the shoes for the child, or the mother teaches the child how to lace the shoe? Which is better? Okay, Virginia?
It's better to teach how to
lace. This is better. Why? Why? Sophie?
After you will not need the mother anymore to do it, you can do it by himself.
Okay. So the mother is relaxed, right?
No, because he can rely on himself. He's able to do it by himself.
Okay. Yes, that's true. So that the child guarantees that in future he or she does not have to worry, or he or she doesn't have to tip or fall because of the getting stuck, the lace getting stuck somewhere, and then fall. He doesn't worry about it anymore because he or she can do it by himself or herself. Whereas the mother, although the mother is so careful to make sure that it happens every day, but one time mother might have to go somewhere else for a more urgent work, and then he or she has to go without the lace, the tied, and then can fall. Okay, so the wisest thing to do is to teach them how to get rid of the causes of the suffering. That is the wisest thing. So when the mother knows that my child knows how to lace the shoes properly, the feeling that, look, the mother has 2 kinds of feeling of happiness. One, the mother laces the child's shoe and the child lives. Okay, mother is very happy, now the child will not fall. Good. And number 2, mother teaches the child how to lace, and the child is so happy to do it every day, himself or herself. And the mother feels so comfortable that, okay, now I don't worry at all. Which is more profound? The feeling of the happiness the mother gets after herself doing the lacing the child's shoe, and the child with great excitement doing it himself or herself, which gives a more profound joy in the mother. Second one, this is what we have to feel. We must feel that. Likewise, say you remove the suffering of the sentient beings. The sentient beings do not know how to get rid of the suffering. Again, what happened tomorrow? This is a problem. Whereas if you teach the sentient beings how to get rid of the suffering by getting rid of the cause of suffering, then you are very relaxed. The feeling of the confidence that you have. Now the sentient beings will not suffer anymore. They will be very profound and stable. Okay, these two are very different. So therefore, it is very important. May sentient beings be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May the sentient beings have the happiness and the cause of happiness. The causes to include that is very significant, is very important. Okay. Okay. Then the preferred view, to materialize to aspirations, then the wisdom of emptiness should be taught. At the moment, what do you feel when you get a glimpse of emptiness? What do you feel? You feel instantly the fear dissolves. Instantly the feeling of tranquility arises. So this is what you can imagine, you can envision the beings experiencing when they have the wisdom of emptiness. This is so profound. Not just not like imagination. It's very real experience. A living experience coming to you when you realize, when you have the glimpse of emptiness, what's the physiological state of your body like? What's the physiological state of your body like? There's an incredible tranquility coming in your mind. So this is what all the beings are going to have if they have the wisdom of emptiness. So therefore I'm giving the wisdom of emptiness. Then with your right nose, all the nectars, the soothing light, they go out, and then the mere touch, they transform into the Buddha Shakyamuni, the Aramajishri and so forth, and then they give teachings on the wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness. And then just imagine, okay, now the sentient beings, my mother, my child, my husband, my wife, my brother, my sister, and the local spirits, the insects, the animals, everyone, now they experience emptiness. The moment they experience emptiness, what's feeling like? Just as in your mind, that the very profound tranquility comes to you, now that tranquility is coming in them, each one of them. You feel so happy about this. Something wrong with the skin. All the tiny insects are coming. Okay. And then finally the two stages or the tantra to expedite the path. Imagine that now you send the nectars, and the nectars they touch the beings, then they transform into Shri Kalachakra, then Shri Vajrabhairava, Shri Guyasamaja, Shri Charasamvara, and the Aratara, and all these deities, and then they give the teachings on the Tantra. Tantra expedite this wisdom of emptiness, expedite the Bodhicitta, the wisdom of emptiness, and to expedite the cleansing of the mental defilements. So that happens, and all the beings, they are very swiftly become enlightened. Okay, this is what we have to visualize. But this is about the giving. Okay, so they say still we have how many days? 2 days.
3 days including today.
Okay, 3 days including today. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow we can do this practice. Together in group. Practice of the Bodhicittas, the 2 steps, the 2 methods. Okay, we're done with this step. We are done with this verse. What's the next step?
Actual exchange is step number 6.
Actual exchange.
Yes.
Actual exchange should be much before that.
No.
No. Okay, good. Step number 6. Step number 6, actual exchange of self and others. For the actual exchange of self and others, there's nothing special there. So with this, up to this point, step number 5, you have ample of reasons, you have ample of reflections that make you feel so confident that cherishing others is so beneficial for oneself, and cherishing the self is so destructive. You have ample of reasons. With this, it's become like, okay, now the veil has been lifted from you. A veil has been lifted from you. You feel so realized that, yes, now there's no point in cherishing myself. If I'm to cherish somebody, I have to cherish others. If I'm to be indifferent towards somebody, I have to be indifferent towards myself. This kind of realization happens to you, and make a very strong commitment here that henceforth. So this step 6 is primarily to just make a commitment that henceforth I will always cherish others. Cherish others, there is no side effect. It only gives benefit to me. You getting it? Benefit to me. The more I cherish others, the more I'm benefited. I get the maximum benefit from cherishing others. I get the maximum benefit from cherishing others. Okay, so this is what we have to think. And then, if I have to be indifferent towards myself, it should be me. It should be my self-centered attitude. I must say no to the self-centered attitude. Okay, for example, if you don't like person A, right? If you don't like person A, okay, this is not how we should be doing. But I'm saying that, generally, this is what we may do. If you don't like person A, when the person's A mother goes by, right? You become a little unhappy also. Right? You don't like person A, but the mother didn't do anything bad to you. Person's A child doesn't do anything bad to you. Person's A cat doesn't do anything bad to you. But if the person A cat passes by, you feel a little undisturbed here. Right? Okay, so likewise, we from all these steps up to step 5, you realize that the self-centered attitude is the cause of all the destructions. It's cause of all the pains within me. Any pain, even the tiniest to the gravest pains, is all because of the self-centered attitude. When you realize this, you feel so angry, antagonist to the self-centered attitude. So anything to do with the promoting the self-centered attitude, you should feel disturbed. If that happens, you are a great Dharma practitioner. If anything, if there's something to do with the self-promotion, promotion of the self-centered attitude, strengthening the self-centered attitude, you become unhappy. If that happens, you are a great Dharma practitioner. Okay, with this, then say, anytime you get an opportunity to cherish others, okay, the moment you cherish others, I am removing my self-centered attitude. I'm challenging my self-centered attitude. You feel so happy. You feel so happy that I'm able to remove the self-centered. When you feel happiness, when you feel happy, you don't feel burnout. You don't feel burnout. So now helping others, right? Say, and giving your happiness to others, taking stuff from others onto you. Taking stuff from others, oh yeah, I have to take the suffering because I'm practicing bodhicitta. Not because of that. Oh, I take suffering of others on me. My self-centered attitude is challenged. I'm so happy. Right? When you take the suffering from others, you don't feel the burden, you feel the joy. Burden means unease is coming. With the unease, you will feel burnout. Whereas you feel the joy, you never feel burnout. This is the beauty. If you practice Tonglen practice, if you do the Tonglen practice, accompanying all the other steps, then your practice will become very powerful. If the Tonglen practice is done in isolation without the other steps, this is a danger. You will easily end up in burnout cases. So therefore, we must do the Tonglen practice in the accompaniment of the other steps. This is so important. Okay, with this, step number 6 is to make a very strong commitment that now I will always cherish others. I will always cherish any moment I get to cherish others. This is an opportunity for me. Opportunity for me, for my own benefit. The more I cherish others, I'll be happy. My self-centered attitude will be gone rid of. The self-centered attitude is gone rid of. The source of my agitation, source of pain is removed. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky that I get the chance to practice this, to cherish others. For what? For my own benefit. For my own benefit. How? The more I cherish others, the more the self-centered attitude becomes weak. The more it becomes weak, the cause of my agitation, the cause of my suffering, all disappears. Okay, this is a very beautiful practice. And I know some of you have questions pertaining to this. Okay, you can ask me a little later. Okay, what is next step?
Special recollection of the kindness of others.
Special recollection of the kindness of others. Okay, what is the next step? Anybody? All of us? Special recollection of the kindness of others. Okay. This is a practice. Special recollection of the kindness of others. This is a practice which the Bodhisattva Shantideva is referring to as the secret practice, confidential, to to maintain confidential. Why? This is a practice which is very unusual, which ordinary people cannot digest, cannot understand. Okay, it doesn't mean that, okay, now I'm also an ordinary person, I cannot understand it. This is not a connotation. The receptivity, if you have the receptivity there, if you are eager to listen to this, you will understand it. It's not that you cannot understand. You can understand it. Only thing is that ordinary people, their trend of thinking is one way. And then the moment a trend of thinking comes, which is totally opposite to your thinking, they will just deny this. That's the problem. Deny this and says that they sees this as a problem for your living. So therefore they become the repulse to this practice. And this practice is so precious. If they feel repulsed, then they accumulate negative karma, not to meet with this dharma of the bodhicitta in the future lifetimes. So therefore it is advised to keep it confidential. Okay, what is the step? The special recollection of the kindness of others. Tell me, what is your true nature? To know this, we have to know this. What is your true nature? Anybody, what is your true nature? Compassion, kindness, venerable, clarity, generosity.
Buddha.
Okay, the true nature is the Buddhahood. The Buddhahood is my true nature, Buddha nature. The true nature of my mind is so pure. True nature of our mind is so pure. Right? All the other characteristics that you mentioned, they say the kindness, clarity, generosity, so forth, these are the characteristics of this Buddha nature. See, the direct answer is that the true nature of me is the purity. Purity or the Buddhahood. That is the true nature of my mind. I don't have the Buddhahood. I have the true nature of the Buddhahood. I don't have the Buddha. I'm not a Buddha, but I have the seed of Buddhahood within me. Right? The true nature is the purity, the perfect purity that is within me. Which means the true nature, there is no defilements. The true nature does not have fear. The true nature has the infinite happiness. Okay, tell me what is your aspiration? What is your final aspiration? Okay, now this is 9th day, 10th day. 8th day. Today is the 8th day. Okay, now you should have answered. Tell me, and not only answer, but very precise answer. Politically correct answer. The question is, what is your final aspiration? Very good. Fearlessness and infinite happiness. In a secular sense. Technically speaking, what is fearlessness technically? Nirvana. What is the infinite happiness? Buddhahood. Okay. In a secular sense, fearlessness and infinite happiness or maximum happiness. In a technical sense, nirvana and Buddhahood. Okay. We need to know how to impart, how to share the Buddha's teachings in a very secular context. This is very important. We need to learn how to share the Buddha's teachings in a very secular context. If you learn the skill, wherever you go, you can benefit the beings. Whereas, if you don't learn the skill, the moment you meet somebody, then, I have to give them the greater meaning to this life. I have to really benefit the person. How to benefit? By giving them the Buddhist teachings. And the Buddha said like this, according to Buddhism. What according to Buddhism? Who told you to indoctrinate me with Buddhism? Right? Who are you to give me teaching on Buddhism? Right? Okay, so there we should acquire that skill. If you want to teach nirvana, you should teach the fearlessness. You getting it? Do you want fear? Everybody will say, yeah, I don't want fear. Everybody say that. Whether Buddhist, non-Buddhist, believer, not everybody will say that. Yes, I don't want fear. Do you have fear? Anxiety, stress, and everybody says, yes, I have this problem. Do you want it? I don't want this. Do you want to know how to get rid of them? Yes, yes. Actually, you are teaching the wisdom of emptiness. The moment you say wisdom of emptiness, Buddhist philosophy, finish. Nobody will listen to you. Right? And you want happiness? Yes, yes. What degree of happiness do you want? 10%, 100%? If possible, 100%. I'll teach you how to make it happy. You are actually teaching Bodhicitta. You're getting it? So this is a skill that we have to learn. And don't say Bodhicitta. Right? Just say, don't be angry. Be kind. Be kind. And this kindness, don't confine it to yourself, to your children. Extend it to your parents, to your neighbors. You become more and more happy. Right? You are not teaching, say, Buddhism as such. Actually, this is the Buddha's teachings. Right? We must acquire the skill. We must acquire the skill to teach the Buddha's teachings in a very secular context. In a very secular way. This is so important. Otherwise, in the world, with the best of intention, you can harm others. Then you say, oh, you're suffering from depression. The Buddha said, right? The Buddha said in the Buddhist text. You don't have to mention Buddhist text. Just say Acharya Bodhisattva Shanti. Just say Bodhisattva Shantideva. Don't say the Buddhist master Shantideva. Don't say that. Just say in the text, 8th century great the psychologist, the text on psychology. Don't say the Buddhist text on psychology. Say text on psychology. Text on psychology, it says that the source of anger is the unpleasant feeling. Get rid of the unpleasant feeling. Yes, that's true. Right? Actually, the person is learning the Buddhist psychology. It's not promotion of Buddhism in a very indirect way. It's the promotion of happiness, giving happiness to other person. If the Buddhism harms them, get rid of Buddhism. If the Buddhism helps them, teach Buddhism. Finally, the point is to make the other people benefit. Give benefit to the other person. Okay, now what we seek, as Sophie said, we seek fearlessness, which is technically known as nirvana. And we seek infinite happiness, which is technically known as Buddhahood. These are two things that we are seeking. Okay. Why do you have to seek these two things? These two are there within you. You have the Buddha nature. This Buddha nature, the true nature of your mind, this is totally fearless. This has the maximum happiness. Why do you have to seek? These two are there within you. Why do you have to seek? For example, the gold. What are the natures, characteristics of the gold? Do you agree with me? That one of the characteristics of the gold is to glow. Do you agree with me? It's to glow in the daytime. But when the gold is mixed with the soil, does it glow? It doesn't. There's gold inside. Why is it not glowing? What's the answer? There's a dirt there which blocks, which obstructs, which obscures this gold from glowing. Likewise, you have to speak in a very secular, in a very easy language. You have the fearlessness. You are seeking fearless. You don't have to seek. You have the fearlessness in you. You have the infinite happiness within you. Why do you have to seek? The gold is inside the air. Right? The gold is inside the air. Why do you have to seek the fearlessness? Why do you have to seek infinite happiness? What's the answer?
Because we have obstructions.
Because there are obstructions which blocks us from these two, fearlessness and the infinite happiness, from coming out. Obstructions block us. What are these obstructions? Very important question, very important point now. What are these obstructions? Hey, what are these obstructions? Okay, Patrick?
The cognitive
obscurations?
Affective obstruction and cognitive obstruction.
Christoph changed it, or the Patrick said something different. Patrick said afflictive and Patrick said qualitative and cognitive. Oh, good. Okay, afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. These two are blocking us. What is afflictive obscuration? Okay, now, this says you have already studied. Now I'm going to take you from a different angle. Right? Very important point, because it's now easy for you. Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. Okay, just imagine that the water from the river Seine is dirty, is not drinkable. But the true nature of the river Seine is so pure. Why it is not drinkable now? It's because that is because that is polluted by the dirt or the pollutants. Likewise, our mind, the true nature of mind is totally fearless. The true nature of mind is in the form of infinite happiness, Buddhahood. Is there within us. We already have these two. Why these two don't manifest? It's because of the defilements, afflictive and the cognitive. Okay, now very important point. Let's pay attention to this. Very important. Okay. As long as the afflictive is there, cognitive are automatically there. As long as afflictive is there, cognitive are automatically there. Afflictive meaning the solid dirt. When the solid dirt is there, when the solid garlic is there, the smell of the garlic is always there. Okay. So what is this afflictive obscurations? Tell me. I don't want to go into from the beginning. Afflictive obscurations. What is afflictive obscurations. Tell me, what is the subtlest form of afflictive obscurations? Quick. Self-grasping ignorance. Anybody else? Self-centered attitude. Okay. Self-centered attitude, if you get rid of this, then you become Buddha. Self-centered attitude, if you remove that, then you become a Buddha. Because self-centered attitude, arahats, even the arahats have. Arahats, those who already got rid of, those who already achieved nirvana, they still have this self-centered attitude. Okay, so the subtlest version of the subtlest version of the afflictive obscurations is this self-grasping ignorance. But what Laura said makes sense here. Okay, how? Keep this in mind. How the self-grasping ignorance operates. How the finally samsara is what? It doesn't matter. You have self-grasping ignorance, no self-grasping ignorance, it doesn't matter. Your suffering should not happen. You getting it? With the self-grasping ignorance, suffering happens. How? Self-grasping ignorance gives rise to the inappropriate tension, gross afflictions, and contaminant karmas, then suffering. This is how it operates. Now, self-grasping ignorance, how it operates to give rise to its offshoots, gross afflictions, attachment, anger, jealousy, so forth, then to contaminant karmas. How does it happen? It's like this sound of a clap. Self-grasping ignorance. One hand, self-centered attitude. Other hand, come together, all the offshoots come out of that. Whereas in the case of the arahats, which of the two hands is missing? Self-grasping ignorance is missing. Only self-centered attitude, nothing works. No sound. The gross afflictions cannot arise. Contaminant karmas cannot arise. Right? They just have one hand, self-centered attitude. Whereas for us, we have both. Self-grasping ignorance will be gotten rid of till you will not be gotten rid of till you achieve Buddhahood. So self-centered is almost there with us till Buddhahood. Whereas the self-grasping ignorance comes to an end when you achieve nirvana. Okay, now look how the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude These two serve as these two give rise to the. Okay, by the way, why am I sharing all this?
So you can give the Dharma, give the kindness, special recollection of the kindness of others.
How?
We need to learn how to share the Dharma in a secular context.
Okay, yes, Osama.
We were talking about the Buddha nature inside, and then we were talking
So
about
why did I say this?
what is blocking this Buddha nature to reveal itself.
Yes, why did I say this? Why did I say this?
I cannot read your mind.
Okay. Okay, Mary?
C'est pour acquérir l'habilité à partager les enseignements du Bouddha avec les autres.
To acquire the skill to share the Dharma with others.
Okay, why suddenly this topic, how did it come? Okay. First, let me continue with this. What we have is that we have the Buddha nature. What is this Buddha nature? What are the characteristics of this Buddha nature? Is that this has the intrinsic fearlessness and the intrinsic infinite happiness. We already have it. We don't have to look from outside. We already have it. But still we are seeking. What makes us to seek that is because something is blocking us from experiencing these two. What is that? Affective obscurations, cognitive obscurations. What is affective obscuration? How does this operate? Affective obscurations operate when the self-centered attitude, self-grasping, these two together. Then the miseries, everything simply surges. Everything surges. They come out like the blast. Okay. Say, self-grasping ignorance, what it does. Self-grasping, what it does, this is very important. Okay. I know that you're a little tired after the 9 days. No, 7 days. Okay. This is a very important point. Self-grasping ignorance, okay, let's say, okay, this is a beautiful place. Oh, there's a Kalachakra Center here. Seems like now more people are coming here. Oh, we have to start a shopping mall here. Then the company owners, they come here. Oh, we have to start a shopping mall here. Right? Because there are the thousands and thousands of people coming to Kalachakra Center. So we will have a good business here. They start a shopping mall nearby. What's the job of shopping mall? To display all the merchandise. Do you agree with me or not? Huh? To display all the merchandise. Cheese, so many kinds of cheese. Cream, so many kinds of creams. And then the soaps, for so many kinds of soap. Display all this thing. Then who comes? And then the clothes, with the branded clothes, the mobiles, and then the laptops, all forms are there, with the perfumes, all different kinds of perfume. Who comes? Huh?
Not me.
Okay, so people come. People come with what? I want, right? Who come? People with, I want this perfume. I don't want this perfume. I want this perfume. I want this skirt, not this skirt. I want this shirt, not this shirt. I want this, the what? Soap, not this soap. Oh, this. So everything is displayed there by the shop owner. Shop owner displayed all these things. Create the avenue for this self-centered attitude to become activated. Then self-centered attitude comes. Oh, I want this, this is beautiful, I want this. So the selection is done by the self-centered attitude. Right? Self-grasping ignorance creates the shopping mall for us. Self-grasping ignorance creates a shopping mall for us. Whole universe was created by the self-grasping ignorance. Just projected like the dreaming moving projected the movie. Shopping mall, everything created by the self-grasping ignorance. Then self-centered attitude comes. Oh, this is nice, right? Because you are unaware that it's your self-creation. You are unaware that these are your mental creation. Then you go there, oh, this is nice. Oh, these prayer flags are nice. I wish I have same prayer flags in my house also. Oh, this perfume is so nice. I like to have this perfume. Then the self-centered attitude goes to pick up do the selection. Okay. With this, then what happens? Desire. Oh, it should not be here. Then the anger arises. And then you buy something, and then you realize that in the shop in Paris, it is 5 euros cheaper in Paris. And you then feel angry towards the shopkeeper here, right? Why they charge 5 euros extra to this? Then anger arises. Okay, all because shopping mall is created by the self-grasping ignorance. Then self-centered attitude goes to pick up things. In the process, then the anger, attachment, all these things arise. Whereas if the shopping mall is not there, like now, we are here in this place. Even if you want to go into shopping mall, you don't. So therefore, there's no chance for the anger, attachment towards the shopping items to arise. Although self-centered attitude is there, because the display is not happening, so self-centered attitude alone cannot act. Whereas, how the attachment, anger, jealousy, fear, all this arise is, the two things should operate together. How? Self-grasping ignorance to the display. How? They project things. Then you are unaware that it's your projection. Then what happens? The self-centered attitude comes. Yes, this is good, this is not good. Then the attachment, aversion, all things happening. And because of which the karmic karmas accumulated. Because of which miseries ensue. Okay, this is how it operates. Now tell me that actually, for example, say we need lunch. Why do we need lunch? Why do we need lunch? Our body needs it. To sustain our body needs it. Not only lunch, we need a cake with it. Why do we need a cake? To sustain the body. Huh? Not necessary. Not necessary. Right? But we need a cake there. Right? Then after the cake, we need the coffee. Right? In some cases, oh, you should have coffee with it. Oh, you should have Coca-Cola with it. Coca-Cola to sustain your body? Not at all. It will destroy your body. Right? Okay, so the point is that we need this for our body. Actually, we don't need the food. Right? Food, without the food, we feel the pain of hunger. This true nature of yours, the Buddha nature, does not have the hunger. What made you feel the hunger? Because of the self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. And in the winter, we need a heating system. The Buddha nature inside, your true nature does not require the heating system. Heating system means to protect you from the cold. Cold cannot affect you. Cold cannot affect you. But we are affected. Why? Because this Buddha nature is obscured by the mental defilement. Which mental defilements? Self-centered attitude. Self-centered attitude. So we see that all the problems, for example, you see anybody, you see somebody and you feel unhappy, right? And for example, say your father says something, hey, my son, you should have done like this. How dare you say like this? Hey, my daughter, you should have done like this. How dare you say like this? No. The Buddha nature, for Buddha nature, anybody says something to you that gives you bliss. No agitation, no anger. Anybody says some good words, bad words, whatever, it only gives you bliss. You hear any word, it gives you bliss. Right? Whereas you do not. It's not that. It's not the case now. Because of the self-centered attitude, this true nature is blocked by the self-centered attitude. In other words, you don't have to seek anything. Had it been the case, the self-centered attitude is not there. Everything is good. The best of the situation is with you. The greatest of the wealth is with you. The greatest of the joy is with you. The fearlessness, infinite happiness is with you already. And why you not experience this? Because of the self-centered attitude there. This is not your true nature. So, the self-centered attitude has been so harmful. So, let me begin with this. Our true nature, the Buddha nature within us, in other words, our true nature, your true nature, for example, say the Thomas true nature, the Katya's true nature, Maria's true nature, and then Susanna's true nature, each one of us, and Dominic's true nature, Isabel's true nature. Each of our true nature, when the true nature comes out, this already has the state of fearlessness. This already has the state of infinite happiness. It's already there. Then if you have it, why don't you experience it? Instead you have the fears. You are deprived of the happiness. Because self-grasping, self-centered attitude, it stops you from experiencing this fearlessness and the infinite happiness. Self-centered attitude. So in what way it stops you? In other words, if the true nature comes out, you are totally a free person. What's the opposite of free? What's the opposite of free person? Huh? Suffering, dependent, imprisoned, fearful. Yes, all these words. Yes. True nature, your true nature, if your true nature comes out, you are such a free person. Free means you don't have to depend on any external factors. You don't have to buy a car. You don't need a car. You don't have to go to a train station. On 13, how many are going to the train station? We don't have to go to the train station. Right? You don't have to wait till the lunch comes. We don't really have to wait. Right? That is the true nature. You are totally free. You don't have to depend on any external factors. Now the opposite of that is that we become dependent. Who made us dependent? Self-centered attitude. This is what in the ordinary world is never discussed. We never discuss how the self-centered attitude is harmful to us. This is what is never discussed. We only look for external blames. Okay, look, is this true or not? When the self-centered attitude, when the true nature is blocked, you being absolutely free is blocked, which means you're not free now. You getting it? When you're not free, but the desire to be free, desire to be fearless, desire to have the infinite happiness still there. Is it still there or not with us? Huh? We still have that. Desire to be fearless, desire to be of infinite happiness. You still have that desire. So this desire is not accomplished because that aspiration to come to materialize, that is blocked by this self-centered attitude. The moment that is blocked, you become dependent. You are not free now. Now you become dependent. You are dependent in two ways. Right? For your immediate fear to stop you from the dependent on others, to stop from the immediate fear, depend on others, to give you the immediate happiness, one. To get the immediate fears and to have the immediate happiness, one. And to get rid of the long-term fear and to have the long-term happiness, two. What do you mean by long-term? To get rid of long-term fear and long-term, to have the long-term happiness. Long-term happiness meaning lasting happiness. And to get rid of long-term fear meaning to become fearless. Okay, let's say, can you speak of any fear which is more related to us, according to the ordinary people's thinking? What kind of fears? Can you give me some example? Fear of death. Okay, fear of death. Yes. Anything else?
Losing your
Before the death? Becoming sick, aging. What else?
To be in lack of anything.
Okay, let's make it something more direct, something which everybody can understand.
poverty.
The poverty. Yes, poverty. Not being loved. Okay, let's say these are good examples. Let's say poverty. say, okay, I'm suffering from poverty of not having food. Okay, then Dominic comes. Oh, Geshe, don't worry. This is food for you today. Are you happy? Not happy? Immediately, your fear is gone. Immediate fear is gone. But tomorrow again, who will feed me? This next question. Huh? Dominic will come back. Yes, that's true. Okay. So the moment I depend on somebody like Dominic, of course, she's very lucky that she's so kind. But then, right? One day she has to take care of the Venerable Quintana and Isabel, more urgent than than me just for the food, for them food plus many other things. Okay, so then who's going to feed me? Okay, so the problem is not solved for good. It's just a temporary solution. You're getting it? But even the temporary solution is also very important. Yes or no? Even the temporary solution is also temporary benefit is also very important. For example, in the winter, we need, here in France, in the winter, we need heating system. Why do we need heating system? Because the weather is cold. No, actually your body is so weak not to take this cold. Your body is so... What made your body so weak? What made your body so weak? Two. One, that the body is designed in such a way that if this degree of cold, like 0 degrees centigrade, then the body will shut down. Body mechanism will shut down, number one. Who made this body shut down? For example, polar bear's body will not shut down. Right? Polar bear's body will thrive in 0 degrees centigrade. But our body shuts down. Right? Polar bear will be very happy, even in France, in the winter. Right? Because our body shuts down in 0 degrees centigrade or minus 10 degrees centigrade. Our body will shut down. Why we have this body designed in such a body which is so weak? Because of the negative karmas. Why this negative karma? Because of afflictions. Why these afflictions? Self-grasping, active state of self-centered attitude on the basis of self-grasping, self-centered attitude. Again, you see, this is one cause. And immediately you feel the pain. Immediately you feel the cold, you cannot bear it. This is because of the self-centered attitude. Immediate experience is because of the self-centered attitude. If the self-centered attitude is not there, you will not feel it unbearable. You will not feel the mental pain. Physical pain may be there, but you will not feel the mental pain. Agitation will not come. Right? Mental agitation will not come. Mental pain will not be there. So self-centered attitude is so unkind or so vicious in that regard. And then we become again hungry. We become hungry here in Kalachakra Center, or we have a kitchen there. The staff, the cook cooks food for us. And the cook for us because there's a staff here, Catherine, and because of the Venerable there. So because of by them we're able to get the food. And there's a program by Geshe Damdul. And finally, who signed up? Only one person signed up. We cannot really possibly have the program just for one person. You're getting it? And because of the kindness of the many other people coming, that we are able to have this. Look how things are just for your own food in such a place, in Kalachakra Center, Saint Cosmes, this place, to get a food without any worry. It depends on so many factors. The cook, and somebody who is taking care of on a daily basis, catering, and then Venerable there who is like the making the big plan for us, and all the other participants. Depend on so many other factors. Then even this food, we never think about these things. Of course, the food is there. Yeah, I'm a part of this program. But if any of these factors are missing, we cannot have this food. Okay. So there we see that we are so dependent. And we need the clothes. We need the house. Anything. We are so dependent on so many other factors. Your true nature, if that comes out, you are totally free. Who made you so dependent? Dependent means you are like in prison. You don't have the freedom. Okay, who made you dependent? heavily dependent. And you're dependent on two ways, immediate and the long term. Okay, now you are made so weak. Who made you weak? Tell me. Your true nature is so strong. It does not depend on any other factors. But now you are not. You are very weak. Who made you weak? Huh?
Ourselves.
Selves, not the self. This self is so precious. This self is so precious. Self-centered attitude. Remove the self-centered attitude, this self will become Buddha. This self will benefit all beings. This self is so precious. Who is responsible for making us weak? Self-centered attitude. So look, self-centered attitude is so vicious in two ways. By making us so vulnerable immediately and making us so vulnerable in long run, in long term. Right? Okay. So we are already so weak. For example, say, I'm hungry today, I get food from the kitchen. But what about tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow, okay, it's fine, tomorrow I'll get food. Then can you be guaranteed that you will get food after 10 years? After 10 years, nobody can predict. Right? Even if you think you have enough money to sustain you for the next 20 years, but what after 10 years, you cannot say anything. Because I remember somebody, in fact, Nobel Peace Laureate, he suffered from liquidation of $15 million overnight. He lost $15 million overnight. $15 million would be good enough to sustain you for the next 10 years or 20 years. But you can lose at any time. You can lose at any time. So therefore we cannot predict whether we'll get food after 10 years or 20 years. We're not sure. Who knows? We end up in the street. We never know. Right? So what I'm saying is that who made us so vulnerable? Which means that we are vulnerable. We can predict, vaguely we can predict tomorrow I'll get food. Day after tomorrow, okay, fine. Till 1 year is fine. But after 10 years, nobody can say anything. Which means that we are so weak. We are so vulnerable. Who made us vulnerable? Self-centered attitude. If the self-centered attitude is not there, you are not at all dependent on food. You have no hunger at all. You are forever strong. And why you are dependent on food is because of the self-centered attitude. Anything which we are dependent on, who made us dependent, meaning we are not strong, we are vulnerable, we are weak. Who made us vulnerable? Self-centered attitude. Okay, so the self-centered attitude is so vicious in two ways. But when the self-centered attitude arises in us, how does it arise? It arises as your enemy, or it arises as your best of your friend? Self-centered attitude. As a friend, right? In the facade of your friend. Self-centered attitude is so vicious, so vicious. Okay, let's say that you are in a workplace. You are in a workplace and you have, how many you have like this pattern? You have an immediate boss and you have the very senior boss, who is the boss of your own boss. How many you are under such situation? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's say, I'm sure that your boss, their immediate boss, they're very kind. Let's say that your immediate boss is so unkind to you, right? At least how the boss behaves to you, right? You, in the morning, you say, bonjour, bonjour. And your boss says, does not respond at all to you. As well that the boss has never seen you before. Are you happy? Not happy? Not happy. And then your salary, I don't know what salary is. Let's say if your salary is 2,000 per month, 2,000 euros per month, and then somehow your salary is cut, the 100 euros cut. Sir, why? Because you were absent because you were late for 1 minute. Right, 1 minute late. No, I was not late. Yes, of course. I saw that with my own eyes. Right, just create unnecessary problems.
Okay. And then the boss of your boss once in a while sees you and say, "Hey Sophie, are you okay?" Oh, wow. My boss is very unkind to me. My boss, he is very kind, right? "Yes, sir, I'm very good." "Oh, good. Sophie, be good. If you have any problem, let me know. Right? You don't have to approach your boss. Contact me directly." Wow, Sophie is so happy, right? Okay, never mind. This boss, right? The next day, you say, "Bonjour." Again, no reply, "Bonjour." Never mind. Who cares? Your boss, if I can report to him, you will be sacked out. Okay, then one time you are Sophie is in some cabin working there, and the boss of your boss came to the room, cabin, and she could hear about the discussion. And the boss of the boss tells the boss, "Hey, how are you treating Sophie?" "Oh, I was treating her very strictly." "Oh, be more strict." Your boss telling your boss, "Hey, be more strict. She seems to be very happy nowadays. No, making her suffer." Right? And Sophie couldn't believe what he's saying. "When I meet him, he's so kind, so gentle, but actually my boss is unkind, not because of him, because of the boss and boss." Then next time, when you see the boss and boss, are you happy or unhappy? From deep inside, unhappy. Then you feel sympathetic towards your boss. Your boss is doing that. Even that, he's so kind, doing just only this much of the harm on you. Actually, boss wants more harm on you, right? Then you feel so angry towards him. Okay, so how does the self-centered attitude comes to you? Self-centered attitude comes to you, right? Self-centered attitude. When somebody says, "Hey, what a stupid thing you're wasting 10 days. 10 days is so much. In Europe, 10 days, you're wasting 10 days going to Kalachakra. What is this retreat?" Right? And then what you say? "How dare you say this?" Who made you say this? Self-centered attitude. Self-centered attitude. Hey, speak up now. Hey, speak up. This person is so rude to you. Speak up. Self-centered attitude comes to you so makes you speak out. Give you strength. This is like the boss of the boss. Sophie's boss of the boss. Right? Coming in the facade of helping you, actually destroying you. And this person will fight with you. You will fight. And then you will never have peace of mind. And the whole night you will keep thinking about it. You will have no sleep. And the next morning, the poor Catherine will say, "Hey Sophie, why are you not going to have food?" "No, I don't have." You show anger towards the Catherine. Catherine is so unhappy. Right? And then she keep thinking about it. And then after the retreat, she goes to her place, and then she meets with her parents, and the parents says, "Oh, what happened to you? You went to retreat. You're very unhappy. What did he tell you? What talk about this?" And Sophie shows anger towards the mother. Mother loves her so much, and makes the person who loves her most, they're very unhappy. And gradually she becomes thinner. And then she's hospitalized. And the boss, right? Boss and boss is so happy. Okay, now I want her to suffer. Now she's already there. Who's making her suffering? Because of her anger, self-centered attitude. Makes her go to hospital. You lose your sleep. You make everybody, the people who love you so much, make them unhappy. You are unhappy. You don't eat food. You're hospitalized. Now you have to pay so much bill. Medical bill you have to pay. All these things, who made you to do all these things? Self-centered attitude. Whereas even if somebody says something nasty things on you, but if the self-centered attitude is under control, you will not be affected. It's fine. Even the Buddha who's the enlightened one, there were people who were abusing him, who were accusing him baseless allegations, all of coming even to the Buddha. Who am I? Okay, let that person say something bad, but let me not suffer unnecessarily because of the self-centered attitude. You getting it? This is so important. Self-centered attitude arises in us as though like it is your best of your God and giving the strength. This is a total facade. This is not the reality. This is total deception. How deception? We have to learn it more in detail. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay, yes. Yatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha Yatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha Yatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha Yatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha. Precisions.